In the beginning was my end, and in my end is my beginning. I'm Sunita Kohli. I am an interior designer, an architectural conservationist, and an author and an essayist. I was born in Lahore, a city of very beautiful architecture, and as they say that architecture is history written in stone. My actual major restoration was from 85 to 89 and worked on the conservation of Rashtrapati Bhavan literally from the basement to the attic, and all the principal rooms were looked at. I used great textiles done by master weavers. For instance, like in the south drawing room and north drawing room that I got woven in Banaras with the More Pankhi design in gold and silver, reflecting that Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb. I found this great velvet floor covering for the Darbar Hall, and it was just rolled up and kept. You know, one project gets you the next project because you are as good as your last project.
Lovely, Sunita. Lovely to have you in New York. Come, let's go.
I'm always delighted to be in New York. It's a city I love.
Here we are in Hermes. Come, let's go in. Sunita, don't you think it looks Indian?
I know, but you know, Jean-Louis Dumas used to come to India quite a lot. So
Sunita, lovely having you. What a lovely lunch we've had with your friends. And walking and the window shopping in Madison. It couldn't get better. Doing it with you. And then now we entered the Hermes. And what a lovely story you started. Tell me the story.
it's just entering Hermes just reminded me of the fact that ek zamana tha where one used to know Jean-Louis Dumas and his wife Rena. He was then the president of Hermes.
Wow, where did you meet him?
Met him in India and met him with some very good friends, and then he invited me to Paris, and in fact I stayed with them for 3 weeks on and off, and it was wonderful. They used to have this lovely apartment in 16 arrondissement, and of course they were the envy of all their friends in Paris because they had this wonderful cook called Arumugam from South India. And Arumugam had previously worked with the German ambassador, and he would only cook. But now with them, he used to cook, he used to serve, he used to do all sorts of other things. So all their very sort of banker friends and all their sort of, you know, the two Pari group that they used to move in, they were so envious of Rena and Jean-Louis. And I must say, you know, Rena was a very, very well-known interior designer, and she used to design all the Hermes stores from around the world. Unfortunately, both have passed away, but one story I do remember, and this I'm talking about 1977, before anybody else was born, but you know, I'm of that age. And there was this young Patrice, their son, who is now the president of Hermes, and he was sent by his mother, or rather ordered by his mother, to take me by train to go and see Versailles. And it was a wonderful experience being taken around by this young 10-year-old boy to see Versailles. So these are all old memories, but you know,
wonderful memories, and what a privilege to be able to meet all these people. It's always a privilege, I think.
But you know, I think in life friendships just happen.
But it doesn't happen at this level all the time. So when it happens, I think one has to consider it very, you know, it's an opportunity, huge opportunity.
You know, I don't think levels came into it. It's just that he...
no, meaning that, you know, you were able to meet a person like that, so talented. You know, these are special people. And
yes, he was very special, Jean-Louis, and hugely talented himself. And hugely, I mean, he'd visited India as a student, and he had stayed with this particular gentleman and his wife. And that's how one met him. So nothing to do with Hermes or him becoming president or anything. It's just that
the introduction had nothing to do with it. But when you discovered who he was, it had a huge impact. That's the way it is with me. You know, it's when you meet somebody who's talented, you meet somebody who's done something special in life. Those people are special.
No, but you know, Jean-Louis, I mean, would take me for a walk and all that, and I used to wear Kolhapuri chappals of because it was summer, so I was wearing a Kolhapuri chappal with a sari. I always traveled with a sari. So I was wearing Kolhapuri chappals, and I think we were near the Ovalid or something. And what happens with Kolhapuri chappal sometimes is that the strap broke. And just before that, he had taken me to Hermes and right to the top where there was, where they make the saddles to order. So there are these big lock books which will have the measurements of everybody's saddles, and there's a who's who from across Europe and the United States, which also at that time included Jacqueline Onassis, and who they were making all these saddles for. And so he said, this is where we started, and this is the saddle shop and everything. Then we went for this walk, and he was pointing out these wonderful buildings and things, and then my chappal. And then he said, oh, and that sign you see, it means a cobbler. Whatever, I can't remember the French word for it now. So then my Kolhapuri chappal broke. And so I said, that cobbler's shop called Hermes, do you think will have my chappal repaired? And he tells me, Sunita, you are being very disrespectful to what is the greatest leather shop in Europe. But that's a sort of, he was great fun, I tell you.
Yeah. So when you stayed with them for 3 weeks, what happened? Tell us about your stay there.
We went and saw lots of places, lots of people. Rena was traveling somewhere. I think at that time she was doing one of the Hermes stores. Either it was Japan or somewhere else. So she was thinking. And then we all got along so well that she says there's no way you can come and not visit my brother and his wife in Athens. So her brother Vasilis Grigoriadis, he was a conservation architect. So I went there also. I mean,
You got to know the extended family.
Extended family, and of course with young Patrice, who was then 10 or 11 years old. Rena said, you have to take Sunita and you'll go by train, you'll make her see Versailles. And I don't think he was particularly mad about taking this Indian friend of his parents to Versailles, but he did. And it was just all wonderful. These are all wonderful memories.
Oh, amazing. And what was their apartment like?
Very beautiful. Because both of them had...
You're interior designer yourself. So you must, you must have seen all the details of the place. Tell me, I love homes myself. Tell me about it.
It was...
How did they entertain? What kind of food did they serve?
I remember two things. Once, in fact, a couple of times that I was there, they had these sit-down meals because they had Arumugam, who would, after all he'd been at an ambassador's house, a cook.
Well, was he doing fusion cooking or was he just Indian cooking?
No, that was all. He was doing French cooking.
So he came and learned out that in...
Yeah. And one was that, and one I remember was they had these plates that said Chez Dumas, the house of Dumas. That I remember, and then...
Those were that was a dinner set.
That was a dinner set. So Chez Dumas, it said. And of course, which had been custom made and things, but... And then
what color was it?
It was white, and the Chez Dumas was in blue. I remember that's an indelible sort of memory. And the other thing is, they had these Shiva Lingams. I think 2 of them or 3 of them. And Lingams is something I collect, and I have. When you come to Delhi, and I really want you to come.
Yeah,
I have
you have
several.
Exquisite home, exquisite. But explain a little bit of.
So they had this lingam, and he was trying to
explain what the lingam is.
The lingam is mistakenly spoken about as a phallic symbol of Shiva, but actually it is the light that comes from the center of the earth and goes up. So it's a huge philosophical meaning. But of course, he knew of it being as a phallic symbol, and he said, "You know what that is?" I said, "Yes, I more than know what that is." That was. So I remember, but because they were very invested in India, and then he started getting for Hermes, Jean-Louis started getting touche woven, and then also he got
touche woven for what?
for selling at Hermes.
Yeah, but as scarves or as dresses?
And they were like stoles. They
Okay.
were like stoles. And then another thing which I
Just now
really...
that you and I were seeing that scarf over there, with
Yes.
the sequins work, you
Yeah.
think it is from India? I mean, it
possibly.
looked very
Very-
Western because the motifs were all their
Yeah,
own.
but because, they travel so much in India
Yeah.
that they had to be inspired
Yeah.
from there. And also, the thing I respected about Jalui was, I remember he used Madhubani painter
Ah,
for one of their famous Hermes scarves. But he gave her such royalty for that she could build a house out of that. I've never forgotten that story.
really?
That was Jalui,
Amazing. Just to use her motifs.
Yes, that she designed the scarf.
Mm.
So he not only gave her the name, but he gave her the royalties, and enough royalty that she built a house for herself.
What a story, what a story.
And this I'm talking about,
That is spirit of generosity.
30 years ago. I mean, unlike, say, Prada, which made the Kolhapuris, which are made in Kolhapur, therefore they're called Kolhapuris, firstly, never recognized a single craftsman, never said that they were made in India and Kolhapur, and that they're only made over there. And secondly, something that we buy for 800-900 Indian rupees, they are selling for the equivalent of 1,11,000 rupees.
Oh,
So, and then
and no
at least-
acknowledgement.
Sorry.
And no acknowledgement.
And no acknowledgement and no royalty. After all, some craftsman in India has made it from Kolhapur. So that is the difference between Hermes and I think Prada. Not that I know anybody
And
in
that's
Prada.
different between people.
Yeah.
Some people just use and then they forget about it.
Yeah,
And some people actually value
Right.
whatever they've been able to make out of it.
Yeah.
So I mean that is what life is about. People and their generosity or their small-mindedness or whatever is part of the story. Yes. So, and tell more about the apartment.
Well, these are things I remember. It was a long, long time ago. I mean, what am I speaking about? Right? Speaking about...
About the apartment you were in,
77,
yeah.
50 years ago.
Yeah. Because you're a designer yourself, so you must have really absorbed everything around you.
I'm very non-judgmental when I go to people's homes and anybody. So I don't look around. I've switched off as a designer. I'm just enjoying people's company or enjoying whatever they're
So did they
serving.
entertain a lot at home?
They did because they had Arumuga,
Yeah, of
the
course.
cook.
Yeah.
So at least 2 or 3 dinners that they had at home, which were wonderful.
And they have sit-down dinners and...
That was all sit down. I mean, so all the very wealthy banker friends. I remember that one particular group bankers. They were all green with envy.
Having that man, huh?
Yeah.
Having one person which we take so much for granted back home,
Yeah.
our staff.
Yeah.
I mean, they are invaluable
Exactly.
for the way we all live and the way we, live rich lives, all because of somebody doing it behind the scene for us.
But they would not only send Arumugam back, I think twice a year, and pay for it so he could meet his family because he was there by himself. But also when a wedding took place, and because I met them on that trip in Delhi, they went all the way down to South India to attend this humble wedding.
How amazing.
So that was them.
Yeah.
And so I guess
That's what makes the story so powerful.
that's why they
But how did the Hermes start? Do you have any idea about the story?
He told me, I forget. He told me the whole thing about the beginning and saddle making.
Yeah.
and
Wasn't
they
there something
started
about one of those boys used to work as a porter? Or that was Louis Vuitton. There's another story. Yeah, I'm getting
I
mixed
don't
up.
remember. I think they were his grandfather or great grandfather who started. They were always into some sort of leather making.
Yeah. What an amazing story. Yeah, that's, so what else do you have to remember about that visit with the Hermes family?
I mean, from there I'd gone to Greece and then went to Rena's family home, which was in an island just off.
So Rena was
Athens.
also from that kind of a background.
Rena came from, like, she was an interior designer. Her brother was a conservation architect. And I remember going to that home of theirs, their family home. And
In Athens.
outside Athens. I mean, there was and going there, and you know, they were generous as a family because they had 4 or 5 other people staying. I mean, her brother and his wife, who was then an archaeologist, I think since they're divorced. And there were 3 or 4 other people staying there, and one was, I remember, the head of Newsweek from Paris, and there was somebody else from another country and things. But the interesting thing is that we must have belonged to 4 or 5 different nationalities all together for that one long weekend in Rena's family home, but we all spoke the same language.
Amazing. You see, that is one of the big advantages that we have, is that we speak English.
No, I don't mean English. I'm not speaking about English. That we all had
Like-minded.
Like-minded.
Oh, like-minded. Yeah.
So we all had the same like-minded interests and things.
Yeah,
It was-
and the global outlook of life. No?
well, a humanist outlook on life, you know. So
That's
that
so
is-
important, really
yeah.
so important. I think a lot of it, people are, but you know, those things you start realizing or cultivating when you meet people beyond your own environment. So that is
Also, I
where
think-
that is where the privilege is.
Yeah.
When you meet people abroad, you meet people of people of this caliber. Now, what I mean by saying caliber is not about just because they became very big, but because they were so talented. And their craftsmanship and so many of our people, we have some brilliant craftsmen in our part of the world. But how many of them rise to this level of you know, the so
Becoming a
renowned?
global
Yeah,
brand.
exactly.
Yeah. But you know, I think much
and
of
these are
it.
the same people who use our craftsmen back home,
Yeah.
and they probably pay them well, but they never really get recognized for who they really are.
Yeah.
So they're craftsmen, and some of these people who can really make those people grow, like what you're telling me about these people. I think it pays off. It pays off with the craftsmen. It pays off with people who are in the business. So everybody gets to benefit from it. But not everybody looks at it like that.
Also, you know, I think there are value systems that one grows up with, and value systems that come down from our parents and grandparents. And I think that is what really makes us the same wherever we might meet,
Right.
anywhere in the world.
Right.
And that's the wonderful part about
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. It's a brilliant story, really so lovely. But anyway, Sunil, it's so lovely, and I hope you're going to be coming to the Lahore Tree Festival now in February 2026.
I have been invited. I definitely hope to attend.
We love having you there. We've
I
got a
love
wedding
being
invitation waiting for you,
Yes.
and we are waiting, hoping that you can come. I'm dying to
hoping
go. I don't know if I'll be
keeping
able
my
to make
fingers
it.
crossed.
Yes, but we love to have you there, and we all, enjoy your company, because you're also, citizen of the world. You're fiercely patriotic, but then you're able to see the world at a level that I wish all of us could do it. Then, I think it would
That's
be
where I said, the way the
like-minded,
liberal,
The
secular family background
Yes.
and the city that I come from,
Yes.
Lucknow,
Yeah.
is, after all, Lucknow has a Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb,
yeah,
which is still prevalent today.
yeah.
And which, I don't know, one can never think differently. And one can, because at the end of the day, we all one people.
Yeah.
One people. And
But
so-
somehow a lot of people get politically influenced, and then things start shifting a bit. But anyway, those are all personal. We can go on and on about all that. But it's lovely to have people like you who can balance all the worlds and see it at its best.
Well, thank you for saying that,
No, I
Marina,
mean it.
because you yourself are a global citizen. I just,
I find myself very privileged, really, to know people from so many nationalities. And I've had the privilege of going to Delhi. For a couple of years, I used to go to Delhi every year, and then every time I went, I met 5 other people. So I consider myself very, very, very privileged to know everybody, to grow within by meeting everybody and, seeing everybody's perspective. These things are very, very
and
important.
also that gets reflected in that wonderful book that you've written, because you really kept, your home is like a salon.